Hey there, everybody. I am Nate Henry. Welcome. I'm the Vice President of Channel Sales here at Birdeye. I'm going to be your host for our session today. We've got a very interesting topic that's near and dear to my heart. We're going to be chatting about mastering online listings, boosting visibility, reputation, and conversions. And I am joined by an expert today. Get ready to kick back and explore the world of listings and optimization with us. But before we dive in, let me introduce my special guest, Mr. Elijah Lee. He is the Digital Marketing Manager of Harbinger Marketing. He has a wide array of responsibilities from managing paid media to SEO, listings, reviews. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Elijah.
Thanks, Nate. I appreciate the intro. I'm excited to be here. It's always an honor to participate in any Birdeye event. Very much admire and respect what you guys do. And regarding local listings, what we'll be covering today, it's a topic that I believe doesn't get enough attention while it's so important. So I'm thrilled to be here today. Thank you.
Yes, it is our pleasure. Long-standing partner with Birdeye, and we're very excited to have you here. And so to get started, would you just give the audience a brief overview of what Harbinger Marketing does? You know, what problems you guys tend to solve for your clients, kind of some of the services you offer, how you go about solving those problems?
Absolutely. Yeah, Harbinger Marketing is a fully outsourced digital marketing agency. In terms of marketing as a whole, we pretty much offer the whole 9 yards that you can imagine a small business or large business would need to grow. So that could range from custom website design, development, graphic design. We have a full video and photo department in-house, a whole post-production team in-house, a digital marketing department handling all ads, SEO, local listings, review generation, a content team handling all social media, email marketing, blogs. The list goes on. So in terms of what we do and what we offer, it is a fully outsourced digital marketing approach in-house. One of the ways in which I believe Harbinger Marketing is unique in that way is one, what we offer and in the convenience in which we offer it. Through one point of contact, you get everything, but also the uniqueness in which we care for our partners and our culture as a whole. There's a lot of marketing agencies out there, and what I think sets us apart and makes us unique in our own way is truly the culture that we have built and the way that we care for our partners and their growth and the people here in this building at Harbinger Marketing. So all in all, it's incredible to be a part of such a team. And we're excited to be able to talk about the things that we do, the ways in which we do them, how we help our partners grow and bring that to the table here today, especially around local listings, which, as I mentioned earlier, is such an important part of the digital marketing strategy. So I'm thrilled to get to speak more on that today and hopefully help others who have questions about it or have not tapped into the intricate part of it, hoping that they can learn something from this.
You guys have such a wide array of responsibilities, which I think is really important. The service you guys are providing just to local business in general. I think it's a great kind of duty that you're fulfilling. And so many SMBs and local businesses, they're overwhelmed and they just can't manage all the things that you guys do for them on their own. They don't have the budgets to hire CMOs to run all that, run all that stuff for them. And you guys being that one point is such a great service that you're providing. And I think that's awesome. So with that huge comprehensive approach though, kind of want to narrow down a little bit. So can you give the audience some of your perspective and your stance on listings and the importance that it plays in local search ecosystem?
Yeah, I think local listings is probably one of the most foundational pieces of an organic approach altogether for digital marketing. And it's one that I think is oftentimes overlooked, mainly because it doesn't seem like the big player in the strategy. It's kind of in the background. But my goodness, the impact it has overall for the strategy is huge. If you think about it, I mean, most people, when they hear local listings, they're thinking of the Google business profile, which is that rectangular box that shows up in the right side of your Google search, which is the most predominant local listing directory, I would say. But the way I like to put it is that your local listing, if it's set up correctly, that is your case. You're presenting your case to the public. You're giving, in a quick glance, in about 10 seconds, they can take your business title, so what you are, your services, what you do, your location or the areas you serve, where you are, your reviews, so your reputation. What are your customers saying about you? How are you perceived by the public? If that wasn't good enough, you have your photos, so people can also build trust by seeing faces in the company, the work you've done, visualized, all that tied together. And then to cap it off, you have your phone number, so people can contact you if they think, I've seen enough, I want to partner with these people, or I want to use this service. It's all there at the grasp of their hands. So to me, it's you're presenting your case to the public in a very shortened, condensed, and effective way. So if you're missing out on that, or if you're doing that incorrectly, you miss out on a host of benefits from having that public. And that's not just Google. That's the 50 plus other local listing directory sites that are also available to enter your business info into. So in terms of how it plays into the ecosystem of digital marketing, it's a huge part of the organic approach. So we have SEO, we have local listings, we have website content. There's several areas that play a part in that organic approach, and local listings is a huge part of that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And it's been such a huge part of it for so long. If any of you guys didn't get a chance to hear yesterday, Birdeye we're coming out with AI generated business descriptions that help with listings and help with optimization, making it very easy for a local business or an agency for that matter to generate SEO friendly descriptions. And contribute to publishing relevant content and whatnot. I think that there's a ton of potential value in there and giving some more content for search engines to crawl. So really excited about that. Elijah, what tools you guys use to help your clients understand the value of listing? It's great that you do it and you're fixing it, but kind of why? How do you help your customers understand that?
One of the main tools that we use is through Birdeye, the local listing scan tool. During our assessment process, as we're going through showing our prospect who we hope to partner with, where are the biggest areas for improvement, especially on the organic digital side. That's typically one of the areas where we see the most lack of attention to, if you will. We use the tool to scan, is the information that their business is trying to communicate to the public, is it properly and accurately displayed and consistently displayed? So one example of that is we'll take the listing scan tool, we'll take the business title of the prospect, their phone number and their address, and that scan will take all 50 to 60 plus local listing directories into account and say either it's incorrectly displayed across those platforms or it's not displayed at all. And then we get a percentage score back on that accuracy report. So that allows us to know, okay, prospect ABC Roofing, we'll use for example, is coming to us wanting to know, is their title, business description, website, hours, phone number, address, all showing up correctly across the web. Oftentimes, the majority of all prospects that come to us have a very low percentage score. And that's likely for two reasons. One, they haven't set up any of their listings at all, and they haven't taken advantage of this tool. And then two, they have set them up or somebody else has set them up and the information's incorrect. So from the Google perspective and how they view that, that's definitely a red flag and something that we try and button up immediately as soon as we become partners with these companies, because we want to make sure that their information is relevantly, consistently, and accurately displayed across all local listing directory sites. When that's done, then from the organic ranking side, Google views that as a green flag, 2 thumbs up, and they will help that website or that company rank higher over time as that builds trust with Google. So you can't neglect the fact that it's more than just Google, Facebook, Yelp, Bing. Those are the heavy hitters for sure, but you have to make sure that you're just as accurately set up with eLocal, Foursquare.com, City Search, all the ones that, no one's going to go to those local listing directory sites to make a business decision. That's not where someone's going to go to make a phone call and say, hey, I want to use your services. But it helps Google see across all of these, across this widespread area of options for local listings, you have the proper information in place. So Google sees that and they say, we'll reward that, which means your website rankings overall will increase. So that's been the biggest thing that we try to point out to our partners is you can't neglect the ones that you don't think matter, because in the grand scheme of things, they matter very much. So we want to prioritize Google, Facebook, Yelp, the heavy hitters, yes, but we can't leave out the other ones because they play just as much of a role in the long-term increase of your organic performance.
Yeah, I think especially for so many people in the audience today that have been marketers for a long time, like we have, it's easy to get a bit numb to listings because it's a technology that's been around for many years. It's been the backbone of local search for really since people started using technology to fix listings instead of humans. But even before technology was fixing it, like we do today, we had humans out manually fixing it, and it's just been so important for so long. But it's good for us to all kind of remember that those fundamentals are how important they are. And Google is really complex. There's tons of intricacies, and it can kind of feel to customers like a black box of sorts. So I love how you guys are going the extra mile to explain, what you're doing and why. And it not only is that just you doing y'all's job well and being great professionals, it's also wonderful rapport building, trust building long-lasting relationships, which is important for both sides. Elijah, once you explain the value of listings, how is Harbinger measuring success for your clients outside of that?
Yeah, there's only so much you can do with a listing in terms of growth for that listing, right? You can set it up for success to make sure that the proper information is there, but then what do you do to grow it? And that's oftentimes the question we get is, okay, well, we've put in the correct information, but what next? Reviews is a huge part of that whole strategy with local listings, because if you think about when you're researching a company, or if you're a business owner watching this and you're in a battle with other competitors within your same industry in the same area, what's often the things that separate you and your competitors? It's the amount of reviews, it's the quality of the reviews, the rating of those reviews, the responsiveness to those reviews, which I'll touch on in a second, but review generation. And another thing that's overlooked by a lot of businesses, and you can't overlook that because that's one of the most valuable pieces to your puzzle. It's how are we going to tell indirectly our story through our customers who have used our services, have experienced our value, and are telling the public that is in and of itself crucial to the approach. And again, through Birdeye, we have that generation tool, which we give to our partners to use a very quick and convenient way to be able to ask their customers, hey, would you mind leaving us a review for the work we've done? I was looking at an article, this was earlier last year, so I'm sure the number has changed a little bit since then. It's in the same ballpark. It's upper 90% at this point, but 93% of all consumers reference at least one review before making a purchase. So if you're neglecting reviews, you're missing out on a huge trust factor for a potential consumer to say, hey, I see what other people are saying about them. I'm going to purchase from them or use their business or partner with them. So that stat in and of itself is wild. That basically means almost everybody who's ever going to make a business decision is going to see what someone before them has said about you to determine whether or not they want to move forward. On top of that is the responsiveness to those reviews. So our business owners or the business themselves actually responding to the reviews. What that communicates to the public is that you care. You care about the feedback and you want to say at least thank you for the feedback. We appreciate that. Or if, let's say it's a conflict, and this is oftentimes even more impactful when there's a negative 1-star review, let's say, and someone had a horrible experience. What's the initial feeling that you're going to get if you see that no response was ever made and this review was left weeks, months ago? That initially creates a feeling of, okay, this company is not going to keep themselves accountable. They don't want to deal with an upset customer. They don't want to make things right. They've lost my trust. So oftentimes responding to the negative reviews is even more impactful and has a greater effect because you're showing that not only do we care, but we're going to make things right. We're going to be accountable for our own mistakes. Even if it wasn't necessarily our mistake, you put the customer first. So all those things being communicated to the public can only help you. You can only build trust and build up your reputation to the public, seeing that good or bad, they make things right and they care. So when we're measuring success, we're looking at review generation as a whole. How does that impact their reputation? Are they actively asking their previous customer base, their the ones that have used them in the past, to say, hey, this is what our experience was? Because a lot of people don't realize how much of an impact that has on how your business grows and who trusts you versus who goes with a competitor based on their reviews. So it's easily neglected, but it's a vital part to the whole strategy.
Yeah, and it's perception is so key to helping local businesses generate more and more leads. And and that's really what it ends up being about most of the time when clients hire companies like Harbinger. It's really, it's about leads. And then there's this technical side that you guys are executing really well on. You're controlling what you can control, and you're optimizing where you can, like we focus so much on listings today. Then there's this whole consumer side of it. Like you could lead the horse to water, if you will, but are they going to drink? And taking care of making sure they look good on reviews is what's going to ultimately help them convert, which is again what the customers care about. That's what they're there for. And we've trusted it as consumers, trust it so much. Every website we go to buy anything, reviews are always really high up on the UI. There's always, the gold stars in the upper right-hand corner, or it's very closely, very closely designed, centered to be in the middle of the page or right with the most pertinent information on the page. So it's no secret. It's going to continue to be more and more important. Switching gears again, Elijah, mobile devices are dominating our lives. Over 85% of people now have a smartphone, worldwide. How important is mobile optimization side of things for Harbinger, and what are you guys seeing in your research and in your practice on how that impacts, search rankings and listings?
Yeah, it's a huge part of what we do, and we are optimizing for the mobile user. Absolutely. We're not doing away with desktop. We're not yet toward a point where desktop is, considered no longer the majority, no longer the norm. It's still very much a part of the picture. So right now, the way I see it is it's a pretty even split between desktop and mobile, with mobile on the rise, obviously. So in the way we've approached this is we've kept our desktop strategies, if you will, and how we portray business information for our partners to the desktop user. We've kept that up to code across the board. But one of the things we're realizing is that as mobile user activity is growing, we have to also make sure that it's up to code. And that's, from the mobile standpoint, you're thinking, how can we set up each partner that we have for success to be as conveniently placed as possible? Because everything on the mobile side is about convenience. How easy is it for them to get the full picture about what you do, what you offer, and how quickly can I contact you without having to go to a website, fill out a form, go through this whole process? They want something quick. That's why they picked up their phone rather than going to their laptop or their desktop. So one of the biggest ways we've been keeping that up to code is by making sure that our listings on the listing side are appropriately set up for a user to read through everything and then make a quick phone call. So have the phone call feature built in and enabled. And then also the messaging feature, making sure that people can click on the messages and submit messages directly to the business from their listing without having to go to a website, without having to go through any loopholes. It's right in front of you. It's easy, it's quick, convenient, fast, you're done. And now you wait for a response. So it's all been about convenience, because that seems to be the thing that's growing the most, is how can we make everything more convenient? And the same thing goes with how the website's structured. So going back to, one of the things we offer in website design and development, we are catering toward the mobile website user as well. So if they decide to go from the listing to the website, are we giving them a pretty good experience on listings and then a pretty harsh experience on the website? We have to make sure both are consistent. So we don't focus all of our eggs in one basket to the listing standpoint. It has to be consistent across the board. So with a website, you come to the website, the form is right in front of you, the call now action is right in front of you. It's all easily accessible throughout your entire experience. So I would say we're not neglecting desktop, because it's still a big part of the overall digital strategy. but mobile is on the rise. We can't ignore that. So we're making sure that both are equally up to code in terms of a user experience. So I hope that answers that part of the question. I know it was kind of bouncing around several areas.
No,
does that make sense?
Yeah, it's really helpful, and the user experience is so important. It's not really fair for SMBs. It's just kind of depending on how you look at it. But we hold SMBs to Amazon like standards. We expect everything to be perfect everywhere because it is on Amazon. So why shouldn't it be with my local plumber or law firm or whatever the case may be? So it just is the way it is. It's not going to change. It's not going to go back to how it used to be. So it's great that you guys are taking that all-encompassing approach. So, as a marketer, can you share with us any emerging trends that you foresee in SEO and online listings?
Yes. So from the SEO standpoint, AI is developing. That's no secret. Everyone's aware of that. It's definitely in this past year of 2023. I think it's taken off the most. And on our side, we're constantly seeking to find and identify where our partners need to be up to date the most. So with Google, for example, I'm sure everyone's aware of ChatGPT, Google Bard, all of these new AI platforms that are easy to access and ask questions, get quick results from. We have to gauge our strategy for our partners and realize that what we have been doing the past 2-3 years is no longer what's going to work the next 2-3 years with AI in the picture now. So Google's new SGE, I'm not sure who has heard of that yet. It's been rolled out over the past few months now. It's new. It's called the Search Generative Experience. And what that basically is Google did away with their pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's all just one scroll, and the information being searched and being given in terms of results to the end user is much more AI focused in terms of, and this is kind of ironic, it's more AI focused, but the search results are less robotic and more conversational. So typically, for example, let's say you're looking to buy basketball shoes in a store. Let's just pull that up for an example. And whereas people would typically search basketball shoes store near me, they're catering towards the searches that are more conversational now. So what is the closest athletic store that offers basketball shoes in my area? Whatever that query might be. Their results are more catered toward the conversational approach. And a lot of people are utilizing voice text now as well. So they're opening Google, or they're saying, hey, Google, hey, Siri, all those, trigger voice commands. And then they're asking a question. They're asking that kind of a question. So they're catering towards, again, convenience. They're catering toward what are people doing to find what they want. They're not sitting there typing everything out. Most people are now using voice search or asking their phone to find it for them, and then it pops up. So how are we changing our strategy to both meet the previous norm of what worked in terms of the more formal search, because that's not just going to be done away with, but there is a gradual transition happening. So how are we still catering toward the previous approach of what worked while also shaping our strategy to the new approach of what will work and what is working now? So in terms of what we're keeping up to date there, we're making sure that our whole digital marketing team and SEO team are involved to know what the newest Google rollouts are going to be with SEO, with the SGE, with AI as a whole, and how that's going to impact our partners. And for whoever's on this call, who has partners similar to ours, which are local small businesses, maybe large businesses that are running these kinds of services, you have to be ahead of the game. You have to know what's coming out, when it's coming out. Our whole team was putting these strategies into play while SGE was in beta testing before it even became live. We were figuring out what do we change and why, and how do we explain this to our partners to help them succeed.
Yep. Well, that's great insight, Elijah. I really appreciate you being a partner of Birdeye, spending the time to join us today. I recommend our audience takes time to seek out Elijah and connect with him on LinkedIn. He's a great networker, a great guy to get to know in our space. Again, I appreciate y'all joining with us and tuning in for the session. If there were any questions we were not able to answer, we will absolutely make sure to follow back up with you. Have a wonderful rest of the day and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
Thanks, Nate.